Hello guys, and welcome to this video about the basics of front-end development. So if you are already accustomed to the basics like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, so you can skip this video. Else if you are new to web development, I like to explain from a very basic point of view, or in layman terms, how basically the front end of a web page works. Okay, so we are talking about the three components of a web page. So I will tell you. Just first let us know the names of those components. First component is HTML, right? Second is CSS, and third is JavaScript. I'm sure you have known all these terms and heard about it a lot of times. So what are these three components, and how do they interact with each other, right? So first we will know about HTML. What is HTML, right? So let me explain you in a very simple way. Suppose you are creating a painting. So in a painting you create a house, a road, a hill, the most common painting we all have been drawing all our lives in our childhood. So in this painting we have components, small components like house, the road, the hills. Those are components which combine with each other and make up that whole painting. So in a web page we see many things like input buttons and titles, images. So all those are simple components which are put up on the page for us to see and interact with. So suppose this is a web page. Over here this is the heading, here is the logo, and here is the title of the page. Here is a form, so there are input text fields. Here is a button, so suppose login. This is kind of a simple web page. So we have these three inputs: a button, heading, an image, right? So in an HTML, so we have some standard and defined elements which correspond to each of these types of elements. So suppose an image, and for an image we have a particular keyword reserved, img. So if we use this img, the web browser on which the HTML would be running would know that this is an image that needs to be placed on the web page, and the attributes following this would be the source of the image, the address, the height, weight, the style of the image, all those things. Similarly, there are other tags. So this is basically a tag which is present in an HTML document. So in that document, whatever tags we write, those tags will be placed on the web page. So this is a heading. For a heading we have tags like h1 till h6 based on the size of the element. So this is a very basic stuff. For a button we have a button tag, or we can also use input tag for which we give the type as button. So there are various ways. So this is basically HTML. So HTML is like we tell the browser that these are the elements which are present on the web page. So if we are dependent only on HTML, so it would be like if we give a heading, logo, image, and the heading, and an input and a button, so it will be like placed in the default manner whatever the browser understands. And since this is not what would be great to look at, so to beautify it, to give it a good meaning to look at, like if we look at it and we understand by ourselves, like, okay, this is the button for this form, this is the button for this another form, and all those styling things. So those are done by CSS. So HTML is like just a bone, and my CSS is my flesh, my skin, my hair. So the basic structure is the HTML, and its design part, its styling part is covered by CSS. So in CSS, suppose I have a heading, so I will say the heading with h1 tag, and I will put curly braces, and inside this I will give font size, give width, height, like left, right, like what should be its position and its position type. So those are like advanced HTML attributes, CSS attributes which will be used to style. So basically HTML is the structure and CSS will give it a style which will make it good to look at. Okay, so we have the web page, it's looking good. So what else do we need and why do we need? So now I have this web page, I have a form, I have a button, login. This is a username, password. So I have created this. Now as a user I am pressing on button, right? Okay, suppose I have two buttons, sign up and login. I am pressing login and I am pressing sign up. Now how will the browser understand what will sign up button do and what will login? It is not a human being that it will read the, okay, this is sign up is written on it or login is written on it, so it will be used to login or sign up or to go on this page or to reach another server. So all those tasks need to be handled by us. We need to tell the browser, do this action when a user presses this button, do this action when he presses on this button, do this action when he puts the focus on text box, do that action, and there are many actions that we can control in an HTML page. So and we can listen to events, we can put timers. So those are like, we are giving the web page a life. It is coming to life, it can interact with us, it can tell us stuff and we can tell it stuff, and it can respond accordingly. So for this button I am putting some event, I'm registering an event to it which will listen on its suppose click, and I will write a function, and in the function I will write the stuff like get the username and password from these text fields, and verify, authenticate it by communicating with the server and see whether the username password is correct, and then accordingly do actions. So all those functions are the actions which JavaScript allows us to write. So JavaScript allows us to interact with the web page. So HTML is just the structure. Okay, CSS is the flesh. Now this is just a dead man. Now to put a life to it, to put a soul inside it, we insert JavaScript. Now this is a well alive talking man like me with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So these are the three basic components: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So HTML is the structure, CSS puts styling to it, and JavaScript makes it interact with us. Alright, so this is the basic, and in the next coming few videos I will cover in depth about HTML and about CSS and JavaScript, and I'll try to teach more about it. And well, if you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe with your friends, and do check out my next videos. Thank you.